I've got a business that I just actually started full-time this past year called Wagging Tails.
Wagging Tails.
Wagging Tails, and that's T-A-L-E-S, and it's all about the stories the animals tell me. So I'm an animal communicator, and I work with people that have issues with their animals, trying to bridge a better communication gap between the human companion and their animals.
Is that like the dog whisperer?
It's like the dog whisperer, but
okay.
Unlike Caesar, he does a lot of training.
Okay.
I do a lot of sort of the bonding between the human companion and the animals, how to better understand your animals. I also do a lot of work with animals that have transitioned, so getting their human companions through that grieving process and understanding.
What do you mean transition?
So animals that have passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so animals that have passed away, obviously there's a grieving process there, and I work with the humans on that, human companions on that as well. And then I do a lot of work with lost animals, animals that have come up stolen or been lost. I help to try to locate them, work with them.
How do you do that?
It's through I have a special bond, a special gift, I'll call it, with the animals where I'm able to communicate with them telepathically.
Okay.
And so we do a whole host of different techniques and communications with the animals to be able to find them.
So you say telepathically. A lot of people don't understand what that means, me being one. What do you mean?
So telepathically, we're all born with the capability to communicate without verbalization. So as we're children, we're able to transmit information back and forth in a communication pattern long before our vocal cords are formed, long before we're able to speak the English language. But as we get older, we tend to lose that, or it gets trained out of us, or we're taught, you should speak like we do today.
Okay.
Animals communicate telepathically. So when they're in animals, the dogs are in packs or kittens are around, they're able to communicate without vocalization as we know it today.
So, is she communicating something to you right now?
Yeah.
She seems very excited. What is she? So you can, instead of like, I have a great dog trainer at home. She's just amazing. And she knows how animals are and how dogs are. And she can tell us what they need and how to train them the right way, which is great. And you're saying you actually can hear what they're saying. We can say, so we feed them questions that you have about what's going on with them, and they'll give me answers back. Okay, no, a skeptic, how would they say, well, how do I know you're telling me what he said?
Because they'll be able to tell me information that there's no way I would have known.
So what do you know about me that you're going to tell him? So that's how you prove it, really.
That is how I prove it. And a lot of people are open to it. I think we're becoming more spiritually inclined. We're becoming more aware that there's a big universe out there, and that things are, we're part of this whole energy that we have, whether you call it, spiritual energy, God energy, whatever it may be. And so that people are becoming more and more open to it. But there are the skeptics who will test me.
Absolutely, and that's fun. That makes for a great show.
Exactly, exactly.
But now you're saying, I know you donate a percentage back to Humane Society, so it's great to have a business. They can also do good for the community. That's wonderful. If somebody loses their pet, what is the parameters? What does that, how do you talk to animals if they're not there? Well,
obviously through a telepathic connection, you don't necessarily have to be there in a physical form.
Is there a distance limit?
No distance limit. So when you're thinking about if we're all created in the same source, the same energy, and we're all universal energy, then why can't I feel your energy when you are sitting next to me as well as feel your energy when you're remote? So when your spouse is away from you, for instance, you know what's going on with your spouse. You've got a deep connection with your spouse. You've got a feeling that they're okay, or if they're in danger, you have that feeling. You should trust that feeling and find out.
It's like women's intuition.
It's like women's intuition, exactly.
And it's not always good because a lot of people need private detectives. So they find it exactly, right? But that's neat. So if somebody's lost, if a dog is lost, how many have you found?
Oh, gosh. Well, we've had, I don't know how many the total number is. It's growing every day. Most recently we had one in the Bronx, a lost cat.
From here to the Bronx?
From here to the Bronx.
How did they get that far?
No, they lived in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. It's a long
the cat
walk.
jumped out of the 4-story building, out of their apartment building, down to the ground. Cat had never been outside. And so me being here in Atlanta and coming, worked with a lady in the Bronx and worked through a series of communications, through visualization, those type of things that I normally do to find lost animals, and directed the animal back home. And what we found out was for a perfect example, I had asked the cat why it wasn't coming back. And he said it was afraid to come back because there was another cat in the area that wouldn't allow her to come back to her apartment.
And you found that to be true?
I confirmed that with the human companion, their owner, and she said, yeah, there is a feral male cat that is very territorial of the area. We haven't been able to catch him.
And that cat just had enough.
That cat, well, what happened then, I said, okay, I'm going to talk. I'm going to project to this feral cat that you'll have a cage out, and I'll project the area that you're going to have it with some food in there. I will tell the cat to get in there, and you take it away to get it spayed or to get it neutered,
Right.
and then your cat will be able to come back home.
I did.
And we set it in the exact spot. I projected to it. Never seen the Bronx
Right.
area before. The cat got in it that night. Took the cat away, got it altered, and
You should be very busy. I mean, you just think that, well, and can you do this with lost children and things like that? I mean, I know people do this, whether people believe that it's true or not, or whatever the faith is. If you did that, can you go into people and children and other things? I mean, this is something that works. I mean, that should happen like all the time.
Well, everything I do is through the animal. But the animals, the pets are so in tune with us.
Which is different than a child, I guess.
But if you have an animal in your household, they're so in tune with you, they're so in tune with your children, that I can actually communicate with the animal, and they will give me information about the child. So if they saw what happened, they saw the animal, or the child affected, if they know something at all, if the child left something behind, oftentimes they'll give me that information.
Okay. Hey, well, now how does somebody get a hold of you? Because this might just be fascinating somebody out there, and other people are not. So those who are fascinated with this and want to get a hold of you, what do they need to do?
You can take a look at the website, which is wagging-tails, excuse me. That's T-A-L-E-S. So it's wagging-tales.com.
Great, and we'll post that on the website.
Thank
so it'll
you.
be up.
So that tells you all about me and what's going on, all the events and all the shows that I do, or you can call me at 404-422-6355.
Tell us what your legacy is. What do you want people, out of everything that you do, how do you want us to remember you?
Well, I think through the gift I have and through the joy I get with helping at the Humane Society, my legacy is not only to be a great husband and a great dad to my schnauzers, but also...
Smart to put your wife first.
Always. But I want to make sure people understand that if they're bringing animals into their life, it's a commitment. They're part of your family. They're part of that love connection. They're a valuable part of your life. So if I can help bridge that communication gap, if I can help form a better relationship between you and your pet, and I can leave that as a legacy, then I've done my job here on Earth.
And you have. How great. Giving back, super, animal lover. Love it. I'm so glad you could be here with us today.
Thanks so much. It's my pleasure.